Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Gino and today's video is going to be about my entire Louis Vuitton collection. Now this video was inspired by two different comments that were left on my video, so thank you. I do like engaging with my audience, even if it's just a simple thank you for the video, very informative. I still respond to all of it. One of those comments was about comparing my Speedies, and the other one was about a wear and tear update of my trunk messenger. So I thought I'll bring those two ideas together, and I might as well bring out the rest of my collection, and I might as well just show you what I've accumulated up to today. I am well aware of the conversations about Louis Vuitton quality and how it has gone down over the years. They don't make it like they used to, yada yada yada. I don't own any vintage pieces, so I can't do a comparison. I can only go off how the quality is today. I'm also not very critical of quality. I know I'm paying a lot for these pieces, but I can forgive the odd scratch or chip or, you know, whatever. And I don't baby my items. I use them. I don't abuse them, but they are well loved. And I found that when I need to leave the house for a quick errand, I will always pick a Louis Vuitton piece or a Loewe puzzle. But today's video is going to be about LV. Hopefully this video will answer some questions about some pieces that you might have your eye on but are still second guessing or pondering whether it is the right thing to buy. What I will say off the bat is that you don't have to buy a piece just because of its brand. You can definitely find a lot more comparable items at much fairer prices. For me, I justify the price as a cost per wear issue. Shout out to Michelle from Dylan Style. She made this one video where she was talking about the 5 things that you should avoid buying at Louis Vuitton, and well, I kind of ignored that. So I'll start with the smallest item and then I'll work my way up. First item, the necklace. Okay. Okay, first problem, it does get tangled, but then again, it is a very dainty piece. I haven't worn it enough times to cause any scratches or dents in it. I can't explain it, I just love it. Even when all the charms are just collapsed together, it looks just like a bundle of metal, so it looks very nondescript. Would I buy another one of these necklaces again? Most likely yes. Next item, bandeau. I won't say much about it. It still feels silky smooth. The only thing I would say is that make sure you have this professionally dry cleaned before you use it. And I don't see any staining or yellowing because I do wear this around my neck and I don't use it as a cover for handles. Still love this piece. Just wish it was a bit shorter. Next item, perfume. I finally learned how to pronounce this. Le Sable Rose. I can't describe this scent. It is so addictive. It is so alluring. As you can see, actually I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I've used this quite a bit, but I'm trying to use this sparingly now because I don't want to have to pay for the refill just yet. Absolutely no regrets, even though they keep jacking up the prices on these things. This might be a bit biased, but if you want the best perfume, definitely stop by LV. Honestly, you will get a lot of compliments if you choose the right scent for you. Now let's move on to something that has copped a bit of actual wear and tear. My belt. This is in the monogram Eclipse, and this is my go-to belt. I wear this more often than any of my other ones. Now I do try and wear both sides of the belt so they get evenly worn, but as you can see, actually there, the canvas side is starting to curl inwards, so it's dipping in the middle, and these holes, like this is the hole I use most often, so it is starting to stretch out. That's one dangerous thing about these kinds of belts. If you gain just a little bit of weight, you're gonna start pushing these holes beyond their limits. And I don't know how I did this, but if you can see right there, that is a scratch. I don't know how I did that. One other thing I'll say about this kind of belt in general is that you might use one hole when you're standing up, but then when you sit down, you'll have to move it to another hole because there's really very little give. So if I sit down and it's starting to feel tight, I have to push the buckle to the next hole up. Next items, key holder and card holder. These are more like hand-me-downs. I didn't buy these, I just inherited it, but I do use this one exclusively for my keys. I don't own any other key holder except for this. As for this wallet, I don't use it at all, but I refuse to get rid of it. The reason I don't use it is because when you have it side by side with this, it's easy to get them confused when I'm rifling through my bag trying to find my keys or my wallet. So just to avoid the confusion, I just leave this at home. Because this wallet is pre-loved, it has seen a bit of wear and tear, specifically at the fold area. The two layers of canvas, so this side and this side, they've started to delaminate from each other and they're separating here, and as a result the glazing has chipped off. But it doesn't affect the overall functionality of this. It's still pretty durable. On my key holder, it also has delaminated. The canvas has delaminated, but the glazing has not chipped off, which is a bit peculiar because I use this every day, but it is not worn down as fast as this. Also, these hooks, while they are commonplace, once in a while, I'll get a key stuck like right in the middle of it. So like where two hooks will just tangle themselves together and my key will just get trapped in there. So I spent a good 5 minutes trying to wrestle it apart. But that only happens once in a while. Also, the metal has tarnished, but that is to be expected because you do have moving elements here, these going up and down, so it has a lot of scuff marks along the top there. The gold coloring has flaked off the joints here, but again, this is to be expected. I wouldn't call this a defect or something to be concerned about. This is just normal wear and tear. Snap button does have minor scratch marks, but not very evident. Next item, scarf, stole. Absolutely love these pieces. This one actually does keep me warm even though it's very thin. When you layer it and gather it together, it actually does provide sufficient thickness to keep me warm in these very frigid winters. This is probably due for a dry clean because I use it so often, but thanks to the print, if there is any staining or discoloring, you can't see it at all. And nothing has snagged. There's no loose threads, no loose ends. Everything seems okay. The one downside is that I underestimate how long this is. So if I'm trying to unfurl this, I will suddenly realize that I'm stepping on it. I don't have a problem with this scarf. This is a lot shorter. I don't see any loose threads. Nothing is misshapen. Everything looks okay. There's no peeling. Yeah, no complaints with this one. Now we move on to the really good stuff. Let's start with pouches. Absolutely love these pieces. Even though they're so different from each other, they're just so me. From this angle, you can probably tell which one has been used a lot more. This pouch, while it is still staying upright, it is starting to cave inwards. So it's not as triangular as this one. The hardware has not chipped. Everything looks okay. I don't see any lost glazing. These pouches have an interfacing that is sandwiched between the two canvases, which is what gives this pochette its strength. What I can feel on this one is that generally it is a bit weaker, especially on these edges. And even though you can't see it, I can definitely feel it. The interfacing, I can feel it, it has split. So there is a tear in the interfacing. but fortunately the canvas itself is not affected. Also, these dots have still stayed intact. None of these have flaked off, which is really good. If you're into pouches or pochettes, then definitely check out LV, but don't settle for them. Definitely shop around because other brands can make higher quality pochettes at a lower price. Case in point, I picked up a pouch from Frère Lepage today. Not ready to debut it, but I bring this out to say that the interfacing used for this pouch is a lot thicker and a lot more generous than this. I would feel a lot more comfortable throwing this around than this. So if you're looking for a pouch that is a lot more durable, maybe consider moving on to leather. This is in the bicolor empreinte leather. It definitely feels a lot thicker, a lot more durable than a canvas pochette. This is my bag for the week actually, so I'm using it right now. There is no wear and tear on this, hardware is still good, and from memory I think this is actually cheaper than this. I'm trying to position this pouch at a specific angle so you can actually see this crease, or I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely not flat. I wouldn't call this a defect, but if you are very particular about having a very smooth finish, then definitely keep an eye out for this dimple or divot. Or we've got 3 more pieces left. This is the piece that started my LV journey, my trunk messenger. Timeless, exquisite. The hardware is intact, no scratches. However, for the corners, all 4 corners have scuff marks. The glazing on the back corners, specifically because they don't have the leather caps, the glazing here has chipped away. And just like on my belt, the canvas side is starting to curl up. The one thing I hate about this bag is the smell. I've stuffed newspaper in here, it's not working. I've left it open, like completely open for several days just to air it out naturally. The smell is still in there. Do I have to put like baking soda in here or something? Ugh, it's very putrid. And it's only present in this piece. None of my other LV pieces have this smell. If you can see along the edges of this leather strap specifically, the color has faded because because it's just been rubbing against my body. I don't know why it's just on these edges and not like right in the middle either, or along here, because this is the part that would make contact, but it's only there that there has been discoloration. Last 2 items. My 2 Speedies. I believe this one is the size 30. Forgot this one is, I think this one is the 18 or 20. This one has held up pretty well. However, it has collapsed a bit on this side specifically. There is just this divot right there. So it like caves inwards and then goes back out. It probably just needs more stuffing to bring it back into shape. The gold hardware has not tarnished. It's still pretty good. This chain still looks brand new, and the lock still looks pretty good. This Speedy has the thinnest canvas out of all of the bags. There is no interfacing, I think. If there is, it is very thin between the canvas outside and the fabric interior. Do keep it stuffed with bubble wrap. The vachetta has not patinaed as fast as I thought it would. It's still looking pretty pale. By comparison, this side has patinaed a lot more than the handle, and this lock is practically rusted. This lock, which was on my Speedy 30, it has darkened, it has discolored, it is scratched. Now, I don't know how I did this. Compare it to my Speedy Bandolier, which is pristine and new. Fortunately, I don't feel the need to replace this just yet. Actually, I have an idea. What do you think? With all of that being said, will this stop me from buying LV? No. I'm just a lot more conscious of what to expect. If you've made it this far to the video, thank you so much for watching. Any comments or suggestions or questions, do leave it down and I do answer them. Also check out my Instagram because I'm a lot more active there. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.